Welcome back. You're watching Creating Cooperative Kids, and I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Parenting is a tough job and can undoubtedly be stressful, but the evidence is growing that if you put your life, goals, and dreams into perspective, other areas of your life will come together effectively more than you might realize. My next guest has some tips for parents on how to create that perspective and begin the process of distressing your life and your family. Bernadette Bolton is a certified elite life coach whose mission is to provide people with inspiration and tools to live their best lives. Her company, Exceptional Life, offers clients success-oriented success strategies, personalized to address each individual's unique challenge and goals. Welcome to the show, Bernie.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks
okay, if I call you Bernie?
Sure, that's
okay,
great. Yeah.
Great. The life coaches help parents create focus from the way I understand it. So the more focused you are, the more your life can come together in other areas, correct?
Right, right. Having a focus, having a goal and an idea of how you really want things to be helps you to make more selective choices about how you operate and what things you choose to do, as opposed to just taking life as it comes at you and trying to juggle a million balls at once.
That focus, creating that focus is so important. And, you know, I'm just thinking about the parents that I deal with when I do parent coaching. I think they've lost their perspective of who am I going to be when I grow up? What's my journey? Where am I headed? Because they can't get out of the muck of day to day. And of course, easier said than done, their employers are putting more stress on them.
Right.
If they're running a business, trying to get off the ground, especially I've met so many people who are trying to create a business because they lost their job in the layoffs. So there's chaos going on in the family. And you know what? The kids don't care. The kids don't care that you lost your job. They don't care that you're trying to get a job off the ground. They don't care that you're now working 80 hours a week. They're still going to behave the way they are going to behave. So the ownership is on the parents and on the individuals to try to create some sort of focus. And so if they have better focus on where they're going in life, they may be able to create more peace and cooperation at home.
Right. And I mean, we have more and more things that we feel like we need to do, you know, having our kids in a million activities, being on committees, doing our jobs, doing everything at home. You know, one of the things is asking for help, being able to ask for help. But if we have an idea of where we want to be and can create some structures and some routines, why recreate the wheel, right? If we can sit down with our partner, you know, hopefully there's another person at home that you can say, how do we want this to look? How do we want our lives to look? And what kind of parents do we want to be? Do we want to be what's valuable to us? Because, you know, we get mixed messages from what our parents tell us, what television tells us. We're supposed to be super people, right? And do everything perfectly. And that's a lot of pressure. So if we can really get clear on what it is we want and what we value and make our choices based on that, it makes things a little bit clearer.
So what do you say to the parents that say, you know what, I've just shoved everything aside because I've got to be a parent right now and I got to get these kids taken care of? What do you say to them? Well,
I say bravo if it's not done, you know, 24/7. I think that multitasking is something, especially, I know how you feel about cell phones and having those constant interruptions, and I totally agree. The idea of multitasking is really a fallacy. I mean, we can't think about more than one thing at a time. So if we're trying to cook dinner and we're talking to our friend on the phone and our child comes in and needs something, needs help with their homework or whatever it is, you know, I've seen parents very quick to snap at the child, but if they have their idea and their values in place, they realize that, you know, the child's the most important thing on that list, and they can make that decision a little bit easier. Maybe hang up the phone.
So you're an elite life coach. Mm-hmm. And tell me what that does.
Life coaches by design are supposed to help people to make their own decisions. We're not counselors, we're not consultants. We help people determine what it is they want to do and then create a plan to get there. An elite life coach makes things more strategic, more goals oriented, so that it's shorter term and a lot more emphasis on providing our clients with the tools that they need so that they can apply those later on to different situations, and it's not a, it's not a year after year type of thing.
What's the name of your organization?
Exceptional Life.
Exceptional Life. Now, do you have any suggestions for parents on actually being able to set the goals up?
Well, yeah. Like I said, getting clear on what it is you want, just to create a picture in your mind of what kind of parent do I want to be, and where do I want to get in life? Where do I want to be in 3 years? What do I want my life to look like? And then taking the steps to do that would be creating a routine. We don't need to do different things every day. Meal time is always such a stressful time in a household usually, but did you realize that most people serve the same 6 to 8 meals always with very little variation, but yet every single night it's a big stress to figure out what we're going to have. Just own the fact that you're going to cook the same 6 to 8 things, and once in a while throw in a little variety. Asking for help, that really helps us stay in tune with our goals and stay on track. And the multitasking is just trying to do a number of things at once is just asking for stress, because we can't think about that many things at a time. So I tell people, if they're worried about something, schedule a time to worry about it. And it seems really silly, but you can tell yourself, okay, at 9 o'clock tonight when the kids are in bed, I'm going to worry about that project that's due at work tomorrow, because honestly right now I can't do anything about it, and I'm taking the enjoyment away from being a parent and getting off those goals, again, of being a good parent. And then at 9 o'clock you've got that time, the kids are in bed, and you can actually give that project some thought if that's what you choose to do. So
many parents need to hear what you have to say. I write a national column, and I just wrote a piece on creating, like you just said, one of the scenarios where I see the greatest stress is when the parents have been away from their preschooler all day, and then they go and they pick them up, and the parents usually walk in on a BlackBerry or an iPhone, and their child's trying to say, "Look at mommy, look what I drew, look what I built," and the parents go, "Yeah, that's nice, honey. No, that's fine. No, go get your stuff out of your cubby." And because the parent is multitasking, but that reconnection is so important in that moment. And like you say, they could set a time to read their messages later. Absolutely. Right? Remember the time when, if the phone rang when we weren't home, no one answered. And, I tell, a lot of people say too, well, someone needs to get hold of me. What if they need to get hold of me? First of all, a cell phone should be for your convenience, not for everyone else's convenience of getting hold of you. And children, all they know when they see their parent looking at that black thing is that at that moment, that black phone is more important than they are. And, if people can understand that and own that, it'll be a lot easier to turn it off, because that's not the message parents want to be sending their kids. Because in that moment, children want to be reconnected to the parents, because they've been away from them all day. And what teachers often see is the child's happy-go-lucky until the parent shows up. And then the child's trying to reconnect to the parent, and it's not happening because the parent's so focused on what they're doing, the child has a meltdown. Right, then you have the behavior, right? Yeah, then you have and then they want to drag them to me saying, "What's wrong with my kid?" Right. And they don't understand it. You had mentioned a positive mental attitude. There's so much here that parents need to really rethink and slow down and calm down, and seek out people like yourself who can help them create that focus and that goal. I thank you so much for coming in and talking about that, and hope that parents get the message from us. You got to calm down and slow down. You're responsible for calming that stress down. There's things that they can do about it. Absolutely. Thanks, Bill. And speaking of stress for parents, what if you received a call from the school that your 7-year-old may be kicked off the bus because of bad behavior? That's exactly what happened to one mom who contacted me for help recently. I'll share my solution to this problem with you on the other side of the short break. Don't go away.